Alright, with the NBA season about halfway through, now seems like a better time than ever to rank the top 10 players at each position. So to start off the series, I'm ranking the top 10 best point guards in the NBA. And they had to have played 25 games to have made the list. Number 10. Trey's struggling shooting this season, shooting just above 40% from the field. It's pretty terrible. But in fairness, no one else on the team can really create shots like Trey is, and he is leading the league in assists. Trey's really been elevating the Hawks, a team people thought would probably be pretty terrible, to now they're not so bad, at least. Number 9. Now, this ranking says nothing to Steph's overall career, but he has clearly taken a step back this season. He is still putting up good numbers on efficient shooting, but compared to the other guys on this list, numbers aren't translating to winning as much as the other guys, or the numbers just aren't as good. So I couldn't put him above 9. I'm sorry. Number 8. This season, Maxey has really shown to be the Sixers' most and really only consistent player. And not that the 76ers have been good. Who would have thought a team led by Joel Embiid and Paul George would struggle to stay healthy? But any good things to come from the 76ers this year have come from Maxey. So that, along with some genuine all-star numbers and performances, I put him up on the 8th spot. Number 7. After a pretty slow start to the season for both Lillard and the Bucks, both have turned things around in a pretty substantial way. It's much clearer now that Dame's struggles from last season were truly due to the total change in scenery, and now that he's gotten used to it, he's much closer to the version that we've seen of him in Portland than he was to the player he was last season. Gone. Number 6. The season has been incredible for Darius Garland. He's putting up numbers that are near equal to almost everyone on this list and doing it on some of the best shooting, all while having the lowest usage rate of everyone that's on the list. This is a big jump up from last year. Last year he really struggled. Of course, he was getting injured often, but it looked like he or Donovan Mitchell was going to end up being traded in the offseason, and now he's helping lead them to be the best team in the league, record-wise. But yeah, so far, Darius Garland has just been incredible. Number 5. This season, LaMelo has been an absolute star, which he always is when he's actually able to play, but this year is even better than previous years we've seen him, and he's actually played more. But he's putting up numbers that would have him in the MVP conversation if, of course, he wasn't on the Hornets. And along with him not being able to stay healthy previously is really what has been holding LaMelo back from reaching that MVP level. And now that Brandon Miller is out indefinitely, they probably aren't going to start to look a whole lot better this season. So it's a pretty tough situation for LaMelo, but at least this season he has been healthier, and once he's in a situation that is better, not saying that he has to go to a different team, but the situation in Charlotte improves or something, he could be a player that's going to be in that MVP conversation in the future. Number 4. Despite the weird situation that went on in Sacramento to start the year, Fox has been a consistent star, and while his three-point shooting has taken a dip, things are looking to turn around a bit. The fit with DeRozan still is kind of questionable, but they're getting better, so they might end up as a team you just don't want to see in the play-in or first round. And part of that is definitely because of what we've seen Fox do in the playoffs before, and what he's continued to do this season. Number 3. Brunson has been amazing so far this year and has done a great job of being consistent, especially times the Knicks needed him, especially to start out the year. It was looking rough some of these games with all the new players coming in. Cat, McHale, and then OG just played half a season. he was really the guy who they could go to and say like, hey, fix this for us, and he got them through their struggles. Now they're looking like the team that we thought would have potential to come out of the East in the off season, and Brunson is at the center of that. Number 2. So I understand this is probably a controversial take, but I think Cade has truly made this big of a jump. Cade is averaging career highs in assists, points, and rebounds. He's doing everything for the Pistons, and it is actually translating to winning at a decent rate, especially compared to the hellhole that the Pistons were last season. And Cade has even taken a jump as a three-point shooter, almost 37%, which is another career high, on 6.5 attempts, career high also. But what really made Cade so high on the list for me was how he just seemed to have turned around the entire Pistons franchise. People last year were, fairly, they lost 30 games in a row, questioning if Cade could be your number one guy on a contender. And right now, Cade looks like he could easily be that and more. His overall scoring ability has just improved so much from last season, having games where he takes over and wins the game for Detroit. As well as now he's in the elite tier of playmakers in the NBA, averaging almost 10 assists a game. It could definitely be argued, but for me, this is where Cade lands. And right now, Cade is the favorite to win Most Improved Player, but I don't really think that award should be given out to first overall picks, but he is the favorite, so. Number 1. Shai is, for a lot of people, me included, the MVP this year. He's averaging the most points per game in the league on the best team in the conference, and while doing it without their second best player. He's taken a step as a three-point shooter this year, and potentially being the best defender at the point guard position. It's pretty hard to argue anyone else at the number 1 spot. But if you think there's anyone I left off the list, or anything you would change, I'm sure some of you would change where Steph Curry is. But if you enjoyed and want to see more from us, make sure to like and subscribe for more NBA videos. And if you want to watch a video grading the 2024 draft, click the video on the screen.